Teleislas News with the most relevant and important information of the day. On the third day, the community of Carrera 13 continues with the de facto actions after they were promised yesterday that they will solve their problems but did not get a solution. Due to this, and in response to the community, machinery at the service of the departmental government arrived at the sector of District 4 with materials to begin the provisional intervention of the Carrera 13 road. On the other hand, the governor of the department called for calm.
Blockades and protests continued on Carrera 13, where on its third day during the morning hours, the community of the sector demanded the presence of the governor after having received promises yesterday that were not fulfilled.
Tenemos dos enormes.
We have two huge mud holes that floods the place and no one can pass. More than 4 people have already fallen in the puddles. They generate mosquitoes. We have miners and we ask the government to support us with the construction of the road where we see how years have passed and we have the same problems.
Cada vez que llueve y cada vez que la empresa.
Every time it rains and when the company changes contractors, the Veolia company makes holes and leaves the streets in a bad condition, and the company does not require the contractors to leave the streets as they found them.
After the demands of the community through the de facto means, the departmental government sent machinery in the afternoon to work on the damage of the roads in a provisional way. Likewise, the governor of the department, Everett Hawkins Green, called for calm, announcing that if they have already waited more than 30 years, they should wait 20 more days for him while the work is being awarded.
To all the people of Carrera 13, right now the Secretary of Infrastructure, which Lucho Viloria, will come to the neighborhood to try to dry the area, because that must be done first before any material can be used, and it will be difficult with the rain. We have been waiting for more than 30 years for things to be solved. I want to solve them and we are in that process. The bidding documents are ready and will be awarded on September 23rd, for which we ask them for 20 days to start intervening the road.
The provisional arrangements will continue in the meantime the awarding is achieved to start with the works on the road. Teleislas News will be attentive to the development of this event.
From very early in the morning, the departmental government carries out inspection visit to works, where the progress of the Orange Hill project is evidenced.
In the morning hours, Governor Everett Hawkins and members of his cabinet made a visit and inspection of works at the Cultural Center of the North End, where he visited the facilities. The governor of the islanders later moved to the sector of Four Corner, where he visited the construction of housing donated for the relocation of the community of St. Louis. Hawkins Green has in the schedule to visit the roads where work is currently underway as the Orange Hill Road, which began paving work yesterday, complying with the project plan of improvement and refurbishment of urban and rural roads of the administration, all for a new beginning. With this initiative, Governor Everett Hawkins Green is committed to modernizing the road infrastructure of the Archipelago Department.
The initiative to regulate marijuana for adult use returned to the first commission of the House of Representatives.
For the fourth time, the draft legislative act that seeks to amend the Constitution to exclude cannabis from the prohibition of possession and consumption proposed in Article 49, which would be the first step to regulate the recreational use of marijuana in the country, was discussed in the first committee of the House of Representatives on September 7. During the act, House Representative Jorge Mendez voted against the bill.
We are really thinking about the non-consumer, about the way in which this project is going to massify the consumption of drugs in our country. For a simple reason, there is a lack of businessmen's logic. There is a talk of ending the business of criminal gangs. That is very far from reality. It is simply a business when the price has to go down, when it is legalized. What do you have enough to do to be able to maintain, expand, and massify consumption, and this project does not say how we are going to prevent this from reaching ordinary citizens, young people at school. I have 2 teenage children and it is a struggle, and I grew up in marginalized places in San Andres, and the effect that drug consumption has is barbaric.
During the commission, there were discussions about the objective of the project, which will continue to be debated.
In other news, units of the Colombian Navy confiscate cocaine valued at over $31 million.
Units of the Colombian Navy linked to the specific command of San Andres and Old Providence confiscated 946 kilograms, which were being transported aboard a go-fast type motor vessel in waters close to the island of San Andres. The suspicious vessel named Number 7, which was bound for Central America, was detected late at night thanks to the capabilities of the Maritime Traffic Control Station and the operational synergy between Coast Guard and Naval Aviation units, which were deployed in the Caribbean Sea for the development of this operation.
The Caribbean Naval Force managed to confiscate 946 kilograms of cocaine hydrochloride in the waters of the islands. The station in an aircraft made the maritime intervention of this shipment.
In addition, the Navy reported that the boat with the illegal cargo, upon noticing the presence of the authorities, the subjects threw the stash into the sea to obstruct the advance of the maritime units and attempted to flee. But thanks to the high level of training of the Colombian Marines, they were captured. The boat was immobilized and the 40 packages containing the narcotics were recovered. The vessel was then transported together with the subjects and the material to the main dock of the San Andres Coast Guard Station for a detailed inspection of the vessel. The 4 captured individuals, the immobilized vessel, and the communication equipment were handed over to the competent authorities. It should be noted that the narcotics would be valued at more than $31 million in the international illegal market.
3.6 tons of waste were evacuated from San Andres by the Colombian Air Force. The recyclable material was sent to the interior of the country.
Through the Mauricio Alejandro Vélez Oviedo Foundation and the Schooner Bight Ethnic Association, different types of waste such as compact bottle, caps, and cans were disposed of to give them a second use, thus contributing to the care of the environment in the archipelago and preventing this waste from reaching the sea. A total of 1,742 kilos of selected caps and 1,860 kilos of crushed and compacted bottles were collected in all types of places such as restaurants, hotels, schools, and homes. This activity was also conducted with the purpose of building the first social inclusion center on the island to benefit the disabled population.
After confiscating a few weeks ago machinery that was being used in the works being carried out in the south of the island, Coralina lifted the measure.
Coralina Environmental Corporation proceeded to conditionally lift the preventive measure imposed on the contractor. The above does not exonerate the contractor from strictly complying with environmental regulations and without prejudice to the continuation of the administrative environmental sanctioning procedure advanced by the corporation in accordance with the provisions of Law 1333 of 2009.
La entrega de la máquina retroexcavadora.
The delivery of the scraping machine is carried out within the framework of the partial lifting of the preventive measure imposed on the consortium, taking into account the need for the collective benefit of the company and the completion of the repair work of the road network in the sector. Similarly, the completion of the climate change mitigation works are being developed in the sector should be ensured.
The contractor would be authorized to carry out sand extraction activities and its storage inside Big Bag for its subsequent return once the work is finished, and the transit of machinery on the beach of the intervened sector, strictly observing the recommendations and requirements made by the Environmental Corporation within the feasibility process, which will be continuously monitored. Compliance with the obligations and recommendations made by the Environmental Authority is guaranteed through the execution of a Commitment Act, with the understanding that this prerogative may be revoked at any time if non-compliance is detected on the part of the executor of the work.
At this time, we continue with news from the municipality of Old Providence and Santa Catalina with Millicent O'Neill.
Good evening to everyone. This is the most relevant information from Old Providence and Catalina. A raging fire consumed Sweet Island facilities, the iconic venue that hosted cultural events, community meetings, and also served as an exhibition platform for local artists.
A conflagration in the Smoothwater Bay section consumed the well-known restaurant, bar, and event site Sweet Island. Firefighters responded after being informed by the community at about 8:30 p.m.
They found the structure wrapped in flames. When we firefighters find the place on fire like that, what we do is to cool the surroundings to prevent the fire from spreading to the other places around it. Furthermore, there was a kiosk that was a kitchen. There was a gas cylinder, and of that we cooled down.
The central site was burned down, but the fire was prevented from spreading to the lodge and even the wooden platform in the back.
At this moment, there are many comments about what happened. I went to look. I don't base my opinion on comments. I wait that the technical part will be defined.
Within the millionaire loss of the business were more than 25 million in musical and sound equipment belonging to local artists.
It was a space where they right now supply for the musicians and from parents because we don't have that opportunity here. They get that income as musicians. Plenty of musicians even give up on music Providence because they say, hey, you don't make money off of music over here. But that them was one they give that space. That matters not what happened or what is what, but you have to give what is what, and really that was the space that we had to make a change and whatsoever, as a work.
The authorities are awaiting the arrival of the owner to review the electric plans and begin to define whether or not there were criminal hands involved.
And the coordination of the Municipal Risk Management Council, together with Coralina, has been carrying out meetings to receive complaints, claims, and suggestions regarding the issues of septic tanks of the metallic and valve board houses.
As announced in previous days through the Mayor's Office Facebook page, 4 meetings to receive complaints about problems with septics have already been carried out. However, the community has not come out to denounce as expected.
Today is the 4th day where we're picking up to denounce them, and the affluence of community is not much. Really, very less community come out. We finish already Old Town, Freetown, Town, Mountain, Maracaibo, no we there Rocky Point and Bailey, and well we few is real less at the community come out.
On this table they are receiving all kinds of complaints regarding problems with the septic systems.
Well we turning specifically to the septic system then. All type of denounce that relative to the septic system. The community have a lot of problem, and we know the community having problem with the septic them. They're running over some of them have infiltration. So we want to know what the type of problem the community having with this system them.
Guillermo Archibald says he has been reporting problems with his septic system to the consortium for more than 5 months, and they have only come to look at the situation.
I told her I needed to put the pipe on the opposite of my house so I don't have a problem with that in front of all those smell and things. She tell me that can't work, that have to stay like that. That means I have to live with that situation till I dead. So we need looking at a solution.
And you said that it's affecting you. You have people.
I have a baby 8 months. I have my neighbor. It affect them also. If run go straight into my neighbor yard.
The final 2 reception tables will be held Monday at the Batham House Coliseum and Tuesday at the Lazy Hill Catholic Church.
This is all we have for tonight for the section of Old Providence and Catalina. Continue in San Andres, Lisa, with more Teleislas news. Good night.
Thank you, Millie. And with news of the municipality, we reached to the end of our broadcast, but we see you Sunday at 8 p.m. in Teleislas News Weekend. Good night.